Yo, what is up guys? Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So Evgeny Tishchenko defeats Dmitry Kudryashov by a 10-round unanimous decision. Pretty fun fight for what it was. And yeah, shout out to the RCC boxing channel. They broadcast a lot of cards in Russia. They stream them for free on their YouTube channel. And sometimes they actually put together some really fun cards. So shout out to the RCC boxing channel. But yeah, Evgeny Tishchenko won the fight by a 10-round unanimous decision. And for the most part, basically, he had it all his own way. Now going into this fight, of course, Tishchenko was coming off a loss to Tabiso Machunu in a fight in which he kind of got outboxed, outfoxed. And really, as a comeback fight, this was a pretty good one. As we know, Dmitry Kudryashov, not the fastest guy in the world, not the most offensively sound, but Kudryashov can really, really punch. And ultimately, you would call him a fringe contender in the cruiserweight division. So, a good comeback opponent for Evgeny Tishchenko. And in winning this fight, Tishchenko kind of gets himself back in the mix. Early on in this fight, first round, Tishchenko was boxing from range, utilising his superior height and reach out of a southpaw stance, and he was landing combinations with straight punches, the 1-2-1, the 2-1-2, and he was doing a pretty good job of keeping Kudryashov turning. He was basically circling away from Kudryashov's overhand right. And in the first round, Tishchenko actually dropped Kudryashov with like a scooping left hook. So basically, it was like a low left hook, almost like a body shot. But basically, Kudryashov ducked into it, and it caught him in the head, and it dropped him. He wasn't hurt, it was more of a balance thing. But a good start to the fight by Evgeny Tishchenko. Round 2, Tishchenko came out more purposeful, more aggressive, and he was putting a bit more sting on those straight punches, and he started the round really well. He was piecing up Kudryashov with really good straight punches, but all of a sudden, midway through the round, Kudryashov actually caught Tishchenko basically backing up with his overhand right, and Tishchenko was momentarily hurt. Not super hurt, but he definitely felt that shot. And in the next round, that made Tishchenko kind of go back to what he was doing in the first round, basically boxing safely and circling away, not holding his feet so much like he was doing in the second round. And yeah, after the second round, Tishchenko basically regained control and he started to box Kudryashov. Kudryashov in this fight was looking for one perfect shot, as he always does, but for the most part, he was just out of range, and Tishchenko wasn't there to be hit. Occasionally, as the fight played out, Kudryashov landed a couple of good right hands, a couple of good left hooks, nothing really which affected Tishchenko like the overhand right in the second. Round 7 in particular, Kudryashov actually landed a couple of good left hooks and also a couple of good overhand rights, but Tishchenko took those shots quite well, to be fair, considering how big of a puncher Kudryashov is. And yeah, really, after like the first 2 rounds, which were quite exciting, Tishchenko really just boxed Kudryashov. He showcased some good footwork, some real good straight punching out of a southpaw stance. I liked it when he would throw like a 1-2-1 or a 2-1-2 and finish those combinations with the hook out of a southpaw stance. And yeah, Tishchenko in this fight boxed quite well, all things considered. He showed pretty good hand speed, nice foot movement, nice footwork. And for the most part, after the second round, Tishchenko really had it all his own way. One other thing I liked from Tishchenko in this fight was his straight left hand to the body. I felt that was his most effective single punch in this fight. At times, you could really see it suck the wind out of Kudryashov, and maybe that's why he wasn't throwing that many punches, because he just didn't really have the energy to do so. In the last round, Kudryashov tried to go for that knockout punch. He threw a few more shots, but for the most part, he was missing with these shots. He landed with the occasional left hook, the occasional overhand right, but nothing too clean. And Tishchenko got to the bell and won a lopsided unanimous decision over 10 rounds. So all in all, a pretty good win for Evgeny Tishchenko. And he, like I said earlier, he puts himself back in the mix. You know, this was only his 10th fight, so he now moves to 9-1. And I would definitely call Tishchenko a contender in the cruiserweight division. Yes, he had his setback against Tbilisi Machunu, but Machunu is a really, really good fighter in the cruiserweight division, and in my opinion, just a bad style matchup for Tishchenko. Nevertheless, I would like to see Tishchenko try and right that wrong, try and avenge that defeat. I think that'll be a good look for Evgeny Tishchenko. But you know, the cruiserweight division, man, there's so many options for him. There are so many options. I think there's some good fights for him right now in that division. Maybe someone like Noel Givor would be a good opponent for Evgeny Tishchenko. Noel Givor, of course, a little while ago, arguably beat Marius Briedis. I think that'll be a good fight for him. I wouldn't mind seeing an all-Russian battle between Alexei Papin and Evgeny Tishchenko. There are fights out there for Tishchenko, and you know, a couple of wins at that level, then Tishchenko will actually be really in the mix to be competing for world titles in the cruiserweight division. The cruiserweight division right now is very wide open, and you know, we need a guy to really kind of take control of that division and cement himself as number one. There are some great fights to be made at cruiserweight, and potentially involving Evgeny Tishchenko. Anyway, all in all, a good performance by Tishchenko. Where does he go next? We shall see. But anyway, share your thoughts below. It's been your guy Delboy. Peace.